obviously going to have different categories of people in your life. You're going to have your closest friends, your romantic partner. So these are the people that you're going to dedicate most of your energy, most of your time, most of your love, most of your care. Then you're going to have maybe like some family members, some colleagues, some friends that you're gonna, you're not gonna offer as much of your vulnerability. That relationship is not gonna be as intimate, right? And it's completely normal to treat your romantic partner and the love of your life and your best friend differently than a uncle that you don't really like, or a neighbor, right? It's normal. However, this is the level of access that they get to you, right? The level of vulnerability, the level of your care, of your love. However, you should treat everyone equally when you are healed. So I'm going to explain this so it makes sense, going to the example that I just given to you. If you are centered, if you're healed, people who are centered and healed, who've integrated their shadows, they're not going to be sweetheart with their partners and then this temper kind of a frustrated, angry monster with their mother, for example, or with someone that frustrates them, right? So because I was thinking specifically, it came to my mind when we started saying that there's someone in your family who frustrates you, that you cannot like manage a conversation with this person. Imagine the soulmate that you want, that we were talking about. Would you want them to see this version of you? Imagine yourself, and I always say this, when you are looking at someone as your potential partner, right? You have to observe this person with others. Because if someone has it in them to be nasty, aggressive, and temperamental towards other people, sooner or later they're going to be that towards you. And I don't care what anyone says, because it's a capacity that you have within you. So if you cannot, obviously, if you could tell yourself all you want that this person triggers you, and people always say this, it's this person, they take the worst out of me, they trigger me, and if I have a partner that would love me, I wouldn't be that way with them. Nonsense. It would only take a bigger trigger for you to act the same way with that partner. Or if you don't act that way with that partner, it may be because sometimes there's codependency and there's fear of loss. So you don't want to lose this person, so you contain yourself with that person. But if you have aggressiveness, this frustration again within you, sooner or later you're going to have it with everyone. Do you know what I'm getting with this? So if there's someone in your life, if there's still relationships in your life that you haven't fixed, emotion, what do I always say to you guys? No one has the power to make us feel a certain way. It is a feeling that exists within us. So whenever people say, I just like laugh internally, whenever people say, oh, this person just takes the worst out of me, he just triggers me so much, it's just with him, is you. It is you. You have that feeling. People are just mirrors. And it's one of my most favorite, most amazing exercises for shadow work that I give you guys if you come to me on sessions. We maybe went through this. Go out there and imagine that people are not people. They're mirrors. How they make you feel is just a reflection of something that exists within you. If you are at peace with yourself, no one will be able to trigger you to the point of being aggressive and starting to yell and shout. If they do that, it's not them. It exists within you. Because when you're centered and when you're healed, the biggest narcissistic AH on the face of a planet, it will just be like, whatever, bye. You will remove yourself from a situation, but it will not trigger you, right? There's a reason I'm saying this to this collective. So examine this, because you want this, perfect love, perfect relationship, and you feel like you would have this, softness and amazingness for your partner, but there's still feelings within you that get activated by certain people. But again, it's not these people. It's you. And we have broken on top of that absence. I do smell like there's a bit of a abandonment issue. We're gonna pull a couple of my shadow work cards, sorry. But I do smell there's a bit of an abandonment that was never properly healed. Maybe you do come from a broken home, maybe reflection on top of ego. What else do you need to know? You're being shown reflections of your own ego, of your own shadows. Again, we should treat everyone differently. Not everyone should get the same access to us, to our light, to our vulnerability again, to our love, but we should treat everyone in the same way. Someone who doesn't have aggressiveness, anger, nastiness within them, the worst devil on the planet won't take it out of you, because you yourself said it. If you're one of those people that say, he takes this out from me because you said it. Take it out of me. So it means it exists within you. No one has the power to make you be a certain way or act a certain way. It's you. What? I think it flipped. Hold on. Yeah, daydreaming. What? Hold on. Do you know what we have? The light irritates their demons. The light irritates, and that's on top of that inside scoop. I feel for this collective, there is someone in your family that triggers you immensely and incredibly, and you get reactive with this person, you get aggressive, you get frustrated, and you keep blaming it on them, not seeing that even if they are the worst devil on the planet, it's you. It's you. Maybe you are somehow dependent on this person. Just it may be a detail for a few of you, but I'm hearing that maybe financially, or you have been, or maybe this is one of those people, one of those parents, for example, that always remind you that, you know, they paid your life, they paid your school, they paid this and that, like you forced them being a child. It's ridiculous. I want one more for that daydreaming, but I'm just hearing that you're whenever you try to have a self-love, there's a lack of self-love. It all goes back to lack of self-love, you guys. Why? I always explain this to you guys. When you truly love yourself, you become love. Self-love means that you become love. You are love. You embody love. And when you are love and embody love, all you have towards everyone else is love. Sometimes it means loving boundaries. Sometimes it means a loving no, but it's always loving. Because if love is your structure internally, there's no aggressiveness, there's no frustration, and so on and so forth. So there's a self-love that it's lacking in this situation. But what I was hearing as well, we had that daydreaming on top of that conversation, that you maybe tried many times, or you maybe promised to yourself many times that next time you speak to this person, or whoever is it for you, for this collective that you know pisses you off and triggers you, that you're going to keep it cool, that you're going to try. Maybe you've imagined that situation, but in the end they always have this power to poke you. But remember, it's you. Do that mirror exercise. I find the exercise magical. So for the next week, if this reading resonated, for the next week, wherever you go, whatever you do, don't see people, see mirrors. What is this person reflecting within me? They are making me feel, but they're pulling out a feeling that is within me. Why? This is why I always say that people who are love, they never judge, they never gossip, they never criticize, they never say nasty thing about others. Because if you have love towards yourself, why would you say that someone is ugly, stupid, fat, ridiculous? Why? Why? how we feel about them. It's how we feel. Do you know what I mean? How we feel. All right. All right, I want to pull a couple of my oracles for you guys for guidance. We'll maybe do 4, and maybe we'll do tarot on top of this. I want to do guidance for the remainder of November, and then on top of that, we're going to do what's coming, okay? Generic guidance and then what's coming. What's the guidance, Spirit, for this collective? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's funny. We yeah, Spirit agrees with me. We'll talk. One more. There's hair everywhere. All right, sorry. All right, we have, that's interesting because we have divination. This is your first card. Divination. Maybe you should get a reading. Maybe you should get a personal reading. I want to pull a tarot on top of that, but that's what I'm hearing. Maybe you've been guided, or you've been, you guys, there's such a misconception of tarot, right? And people think that it's, you know, it's magic, and it's, you know, reading into the future. It's not what it is. It's a divination tool. It's an ancestral tool. It's a beautiful tool that is meant to be used by people who are open channels. And these people, whether you're a reader or a medium, or, you know, these tools are for us to help us in psychic sessions. But when we are in sessions with you, it's not trickstery. It's not, you know, foreseeing the future. No one knows what future holds, because there's infinite number of possibilities. The more you heal, the more you surrender, the more you release, and the closer you get to your highest, most aligned timeline, less and less possibilities are there. But for most people that are completely lost in the timelines and in the lessons of life, there's truly infinite number of possibilities, because you are master of your destiny. What we see as psychics on session, first of all, we hear and we see messages from your guides, right? But second is that we connect to the most probable timeline given the moment of now. But there's a reason. I explained in previous part to you guys spiritual karma and physical karma. And some readers do that. I do readings for spiritual karma and physical karma as well. And that doesn't change. It's sort of a one-time kind of a reading. You can go to my website and read about this a little bit more if you're interested. But maybe there's a reason it came to my mind. Maybe that's something that you would need to do to understand better what's your physical karma, what was your physical karma, what's your spiritual karma in this lifetime, to guide you. Because usually this card is about exploring divination, but I don't feel that for this collective. I don't feel like you should be, well, as I always say this, if you're not an open channel, you shouldn't be touching divination, and with an exception of pendulum, which is not actually a divination tool. And anyone can use it. But with this one, I'm looking at my candles going crazy. I feel more that maybe your guide, maybe this is your sign, maybe you were thinking about this, to go to get a reading, to, you know, to have a psychic session. Okay, we have heal your masculine. Didn't I say that? Heal your masculine. The masculine energy within you is wounded. It's 99% of cases, if not 100, the energy within us, we all have masculine, feminine, right? It's the father, the masculine caregiver that should teach us the proper masculine energy, show us the proper masculine energy, and it's the female caregiver that should show us the proper feminine energy. So there may be a father wound that you've never truly healed. Maybe you've healed it on some level of, forgiveness and acceptance and letting go, but you've never healed it on a level of healing that energy within you. I feel there may be something as well that you guys, it's all interconnected. So sometimes we feel like we've dealt with a father wound on a level of, I've forgiven and I let go what was done to me by my father. But have you that wound also connects to your mother and your mother wound. So if you have a father wound and you have had a distorted father, ergo you must have had distorted mother, because a true divine feminine would not accept distorted masculine in her life. The level of distortion may be different, but some people really struggle to accept that, but it's true, right? So if you had a distorted father, you must have had distorted mother on the level of distorted feminine, right? Because she accepted that, which means she didn't have self-love, which is the opposite of the healthy feminine energy. The healthy divine feminine is the embodiment of self-love. So maybe you've healed that a little bit on a level of your father, but you've never forgiven. I do feel like for most of this collective, that person that triggers you is going to be one of your parents, but I feel like there's a mother thing or a female figure, maybe a grandmother. But it's interconnected. You have to understand these two things. So again, if you have a father wound, distorted father, your mother must have been distorted. Ergo, you're going to have a mother wound as well. You're going to have a distorted feminine within you. I feel like your feminine energy, for most part, given everything that we said already in this reading, is dormant. And we have worthiness trauma. We said that too. I want to read this through you. Worthiness wound is not healed through finding people who deem us worthy or achieving any external gain or goal, but by understanding that our worthiness is not dependent on anything external or physical. Release who you were told to be and what you were told you must do. Become worthy. It is your birthright to walk this earth, to experience love, peace, abundance, and fulfillment. Find the root cause of this wound within you. Is it social conditioning, cultural conditioning, family conditioning, or perhaps unhealed past trauma? Who told you you're not good enough? And there's something I was hearing, number 48 is coming to my mind. There's something that I am hearing with this card, because we said, achieve any goal. And remember we said that in previous part, I believe that you're very independent. You don't want to admit that you need someone, that you want someone, that you long for this love, for this partnership, maybe even long to surrender as a feminine. But this is a wounded masculine energy. It's a father wound that creates that hyperachiever within us that wants to prove something to this world, that wants to show strength to this world, that fears vulnerability, that fears the feminine. And we have boundaries as well. Healthy boundaries, you guys. I feel like this collective, you want to put in boundary with certain people, but you don't know how to do that. But in order to put in healthy boundaries, I read this through for you as well. You need self-love. Boundaries are, let me read through this. Boundaries are a protective shield for our energy and identity. Without this shield, we can easily lose ourselves to needs, opinions, and expectations of others. Your life is to be lived by you and for you. When we love ourselves truly and deeply, boundaries are set naturally and effortlessly, with no guilt or shame. Through self-love, we can feel safe enough in our authenticity and independence to put up boundaries, knowing that whatever and whoever is not in true alignment with us will respect them unconditionally. Check in with yourself. Where may you be still giving away your power and sacrificing your needs to please others and seek their approval? I am hearing that this collective, you don't put boundaries. You try to convince people what you feel is right. Does it make sense? So maybe when you're arguing with this person, you're not really putting boundary. This is how I feel. This is what I want. You have to respect this. But you're trying to convince. But this is where arguments come from. we think we're putting boundaries, but we get frustrated and we get temperamental because we're really trying to convince that our way is right. We're trying to make someone believe and understand, but that's not a boundary. Because if you really know who you are, if you are truly authentic, if you truly love yourself, you would have no need to convince others of who you are and why your choices are right. You know what I mean? I feel you still need to work on your boundaries. So those would be, maybe you should get a reading. Maybe you should, sign up for a psychic session or go to a healer, whoever resonates with you. If you resonate with someone like myself, link is in my bio. Maybe you resonate more with shamanic healer, energy healer. But I feel like you should work on these three things. They will all go down to the self-love. But to heal that masculine energy through healing that father wound, that worthiness trauma that was created through father wound, but also through mother wound, because it's our father and the masculine energy that teaches us our worthiness, but it's the feminine energy that teaches us self-love through being and embodying self-love, right? All right, I want to pull 4 of these for a little bit of guidance, and then I want to do some animals cards for you because I was guided to take that deck. Divination. Let's confirm what's coming for this collective. 9 of Cups. World wanted to come through. Closing a cycle. I feel like you need to close a cycle with someone. 7 of Pentacles. I am hearing roots. 2 of Pentacles. Earth sign I'm feeling. And Chariots. Chariots. I'm hearing with this Chariot that you have to create forward movement for yourself on that healing journey, but a little bit different way that you feel. Forward movement, it's not always forward movement in the physical, right? It's not sometimes it's not speaking up. It's actually changing how we speak. And I'm hearing, to be honest, silence. Sometimes silence speak more, and it's something that people don't understand. Because when we are not in alignment with someone, right, we can say 1,000 words. We can say 1,000 statements, how we feel hurt, how we feel dismissed, how we feel they should treat us. But sometimes silence speaks more. I'm not responding to what you're saying because you're not saying what you're supposed to say. And I no longer resonate with that. And I don't even think of giving you the energy until you say the right thing. That's what I'm hearing. It would resonate if it's truly your collective. It would make sense. But I feel like you need a little bit of guidance. There's a reason we were talking about this divination. So maybe you have to, you should go to a couple of sessions with a psychic medium, with a reader or a healer, whatever resonates with you, I'm hearing happiness, to teach you to find happiness, to teach you to seek that happiness, to teach you to understand. Again, there's a reason I was hearing spiritual karma and physical karma, to understand the lessons of your life a little better. I feel there's a moment, like you need to pause for a moment to assess, to look back. I am hearing roots, ancestors as well. Maybe do a little deep dive into your family, dynamics of your family. You want that love, you want that relationship. So it means that you want to create that family with another. So are you really ready? I always say this to you guys, in order to not to have mother wound and father wound, we would need a divine mother and a divine father. So you want to create a family. Are you that divine feminine that would attract a divine masculine and would not create wounds within others as your parents create within you? Do you know what I mean? That's what there's a little bit of balance, grounding balance I'm hearing. And here she is, Queen of Pentacles. We had sorry, Nine of Pentacles, but we have Queen of Pentacles now. I'm hearing this collective, you need a little guidance to tame your fire. There's something within your energy that needs to ground. There are wounds and traumas that are, what's the word? That are fueling that fire within, not in the right way. Three of Wands. I feel like it's something Seven of Wands. Didn't we have that already in your first spread? That's boundaries as well, to be honest. And we have Two of Wands. I'm hearing few things with these. That 11/11 window is approaching. I feel what you've been shown by your higher self, by your guides, this collective, is that there are certain things that you need to assess in your life, close in your life, heal in your life, before you will be allowed to embark on this next chapter. We need to understand where we come from to really know where we're going. That kind of energy, do you know what I mean? So if you feel like there's something that you long for, that you're wanting, why is it not coming? Because it is being put on pause. It is being put on hold, because you have to create that forward movement within yourself first, for showing that you have it in you to create mature relationships, to have mature conversations, to have conversations with full of empathy and full of love. I'm also hearing reactiveness. It's like you're forcing behaviors that you feel that they're boundaries, but they're not boundaries, because they lack loving energy within them. There's something that is reactive within you. You need to learn to pause and to stop and to think before acting, speaking. You have to respond instead of reacting. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. Respond instead of reacting. Because I feel like that temper is making you to react, and then you regret it. Then you feel bad about yourself, because you subconsciously realize that these are your shadows. That this reactiveness, this aggressiveness, the frustrations, they're your shadows. They're not healthy boundaries. There's something about this silence. Sometimes silence creates forward movement, and it's the biggest response. Okay, I want to pull a few of these to finish for you. Maybe three. I'm hearing three. Message from your guides. One more. All right, we have Coyote, revealer of truth. Don't take things too seriously. Make time to play. Great wisdom comes from laughing at your own folly. Look out for the traps and tricks of life and learn from them. I feel like maybe you need to just accept that sometimes people are who they are. Sometimes certain relationships, they're not meant to be fixed or amended. They're just meant to be accepted with peace. We need to learn to navigate them. Sometimes we fight so much to change our parents, to change things around us, but we just need to allow it to be and adjust. Learn the lesson. Observe with silence. Ground. Connect more to the earth element. Fox, clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. Look at them. I just want to finish reading, but I feel like this is it. I feel like, there is love and romance for you, for this collective. I could feel it from the very beginning. There's just something, you need to become the person to hold this frequency, this beautiful soulmate frequency. You need to make sure that nothing and no one will pull that aggressiveness out of you, because it will no longer exist. Do you know what I mean? And we have Balloon, intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition, as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. There is a bit of a lack of self-love. We've discussed this already. But maybe you need to slow down a little. Maybe this collective, maybe you live in a big city. Maybe you have a very, busy, always demanding kind of a job and a lifestyle. Maybe it also adding to the fuel. I feel like you need to teach yourself to find that peace within. I find that connecting to Mother Earth and connecting to Earth element really helps. So maybe that's something that you should do. But yeah, you got this. You know what to do. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow.